Watch how we constructed this clean and sophisticated and classy coffee table using Upstart's deep pour and tabletop epoxies. Stay tuned. We started off getting a piece of alligator juniper wood. It's really native to the southwestern area and can be totally distinguished by its alligator-style bark. This particular piece was pretty rustic and looks like it had been through a fire. So we went ahead and got off all the excess ashes that were stuck in the wood, pried all those out, sanded off some of the areas that had a lot of extensive burn marks and scars from the fire. We wanted to make all this clear and get rid of all the debris so that the epoxy wouldn't have a hard time adhering to the wood. You always want your surface debris free whenever you're pouring epoxy. That way there's no bonding issues. Then we went ahead and sanded the whole piece down to about 80 grit. That way we had a nice clean surface to work with when we took it inside to pour. I always like to sand off all the mill marks and any other bruises or major gashes that are in the wood. It's a little bit more of a process, but in the end you're satisfied and you're happy with the work and the outcome. Then we went ahead and we sealed up all of the edges, the inner seams, outer seams, upper seams on our HDPE mold that we constructed ourselves with clear silicone. Then we went ahead and we taped the bottom just because we wanted to keep the epoxy in the knotted areas and the natural holes that had occurred in the wood. Then it was time to level everything up, make sure everything's square with the world. We looked good, we were on point, and then we placed it in the mold just to make sure everything was going to fit nice and snug, which it did. Then we got some Upstart Epoxy's art resin, which cures super fast, and we placed just a little bit on the underside just so that we could stick it to that mold and ensure that that piece was not going to move once we poured the massive amount of deep pour epoxy which we were going to pour. In this case, we poured 3 gallons of Upstart Epoxy's deep pour epoxy. So we poured, and we poured a little bit more. The cool thing is that we've poured up to 4 inches before using Upstart Epoxy's deep pour, and we've never had a problem. So we knew that this was only going to be about 2.5 inches. No problem for Upstart. Then we used a water-based epoxy pigment. The reason we used this is because we wanted a solid jet black finish. We didn't want any metallics in this particular table. We wanted to give it that clean and sophisticated and classy look like we said in the beginning. Just look how beautiful that clean and crisp black color is. It's awesome. It really is. We mixed it for about a solid 10 minutes just to make sure part A and part B played well together. Then it was go time. Look how cool that black color looks, especially matched up against the wood grains of this alligator juniper. It's really a crisp and contemporary look, and we're not even done. We continued to pour through all the other areas, making sure that no area went left untouched, and we make sure we get all the little detail points. These are the areas that we taped on the underside, if you'll remember. Detail is key in anything you're going to make using epoxy, because when you're working with epoxy and wood together, the two do well as it is, but anything extra that you add to that will be reflected, will be noticed, and most of all will be admired. After 36 hours, it was time to bust this baby free. It's always important, folks, always important to really make sure that you seal these edges, all these seams on your forms. We went ahead on this one and even sealed the side there of the form with silicone just because we do not want any leaks. Leaks are atrocious and they can really hamper your process, your progress, and most of all, your confidence. It's terrible when you get a horrible leak like that. So always take the necessary steps to ensure that you are pouring a leak-free table, charcuterie board, whatever it is. So now we were ready to plane all that excess epoxy off of the top and the bottom of the table. We got this slab jig router and we went ahead and peeled off a super thin layer, as you can see here. This is really good for cleaning it up and to make sure that the piece is going to be flat and level on both sides once you're done. I usually only do this for bigger pieces because usually my planer will suffice for smaller projects that I'm working on. Then it was time to saw off all 4 sides. That way we have a crisp, clean look. We exposed the wood just in case any of the epoxy got trapped in between the form and the wood. So we did that. We went ahead with the long side, started that first. Then we squared up the short sides, and we made sure that we got a straight edge to guide our circular saw along. That way we gave it a crisp, clean look on the side. I know I'm not very good at freehanding, so it's always important to take the necessary steps to make sure that you get a straight and clean line, especially with something like this. So we clamped down a straight edge board that we had there so that we could run the circular saw along. And it looks like it worked out pretty good. There's a lot of circular saws and circular saw guides that you can buy out there that make this process so much easier. And we'll probably mess around with those in the future, but for now, we were gonna work with what we had. Like I said, the important thing is to always make sure that you have a perfectly straight line and that your guide is set up so that that circular saw will run straight along that line. Then it was time to get all our grits out. From here, we went to a 60 grit sandpaper and went all the way up to 1,000. We really wanted to make this piece clean and shiny and smooth and make sure that there wasn't going to be any imperfections when I poured that flood coat, because the last thing you want to do with a big table like this is pour multiple flood coats. It's expensive, it's time consuming, and it's really unnecessary, and sometimes it's a waste of epoxy. So if you get it done right the first time, you shouldn't have any worries. Then we went ahead and threw on the classic chamfered beveled edge. It's just always a clean and crisp look, so we decided we didn't want to try anything too crazy with any other routed finishes. So we chose the chamfer, and it came out really good. Then it's time for the flood coat. What we did to the table prior to pouring our flood coat is we sprayed it with some alcohol and wiped the whole surface clean. What alcohol does is it removes any excess dust from all the sanding that we did to it, and it makes sure that none of those dust particles are on the table and that you're going to be seeing them floating around in your flood coat. That's the last thing you want. So it's always important to clean off your surface really good. So then we poured our flood coat, and it was looking great. That wood and the epoxy, the black in that epoxy really popped, and we were happy with that. Then it was time to go ahead and make sure that we established a good little overflow of epoxy over the edges. That way all the edges were sealed and covered. And we made sure that there was no areas where there was any surface tension. Surface tension when you do flood coats like this are the little divots where the epoxy doesn't quite cover and you can still see the underside of the plain table before. So we went ahead and got any of the little debris. That's another important thing. Whenever you're working with black epoxy, you always want to make sure that it's debris and dust free on there, especially on your flood coat, because those will definitely stick out, and they will stick out like a sore thumb because everything shows in black. So it's always important to go back and look over your piece and make sure that you don't have any particles, any dog hairs, anything like that are stuck in there. It was all over with. It cured up really good. We took it outside and we got off all the drips from the underside with our 40 grit sandpaper, took that off, and it was time to go ahead and finish the underside. A lot of people think that, oh, well, nobody's going to see the underside. The underside's not that great. No way. If you're making a table and you want it to look good and you want it to look professional, you finish both sides. This time, we went ahead and went with walrus oil as opposed to Odie's or Osmo or any of those other finish oils. It's a lot quicker. It seals the wood just as good as anything else, and it's easy to apply. So we went ahead and rubbed that on there. The thing with walrus oils is it never really fully absorbs into the epoxy, and you can see how, but it does absorb into the wood really, really well. So when you're done with applying it and you leave it for at least 10 to 15 hours, you're going to have to wipe off some excess from the epoxy itself. Then it was time to slap on the legs. We got these legs, and they were a very simple set of light aluminum style bases, and they only required 4 screws on each base. So we mounted them in, got them all secured. They were snug and super, super sturdy, believe it or not, which is super important. Always select a set of legs, whether you're ordering them online or whether you're getting them custom made. Always make sure that they're sturdy and that they're going to work for you. You never want to get weak legs or legs that aren't going to hold up for what you do, because sometimes this is really heavy stuff that we work with, and you want to make sure that the base is adequate. It was all done. It was all finished, folks. And here's the final product. A crisp, clean, contemporary looking coffee table. It came out amazing, folks. You can do this too by using Upstart's deep pour, tabletop, heck, even art resin on stuff like this, like we did. So if you will like this video and you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that little notification bell to be alerted to awesome videos coming up like this one. Once again, this is Steve with Upstart Epoxy. We hope you enjoyed the video. We hope it was informational, and we'll see you next time.